The Walking Dead features a lot of cars during the adventure between our heroes and antagonists, such as, just naming a few, the iconic Dodge Challenger from Season 1, Dale's RV from Season 1 to Season 2, and Daryl's motorbike, even though it's technically Meryl's motorbike, but hey-ho, what can you do about it? Absolutely nothing. However, in today's video, we are actually going to be talking about a hero car to a lot of the people, and that is between Season 2 and Season 4, a particular vehicle that got our folks out of very sticky situations and even surviving having rust and damage done to it throughout the seasons that it made an appearance. And that is the Hyundai Tucson, or the Hyundai Tucson. I don't know how you actually pronounce this car. The commercials say Tucson, it could be Tucson, I don't know. But we're gonna call it Tucson because that's what the commercial fucking advertisement calls it, so deal with it. This is a car that between Season 2 and Season 4 of The Walking Dead got in many situations and was a very important vehicle to our heroes, from Herschel's farm to the prison, and at the end of its life cycle when the prison was destroyed by the governor. And also it survived a very bad sex scene, but we don't need to talk about that. But what's up everybody, I am Abyssfusion and welcome to a video that I wasn't originally going to make, but I thought why the hell not, because one, it's cars, two, it's The Walking Dead, and I love both of them, so fuck it and deal with it. Now please be aware during this video that all the research I have done for this particular video have been from the internet, which can be a very, very scary place, so take all this information with a grain of salt, and let's get straight into this video. This is the hero car from The Walking Dead. Let's talk about the hero car from The Walking Dead from Season 2 to Season 4, shall we? But first of all, how about a little bit of a history of the Hyundai Tucson? So during the early seasons of The Walking Dead, Hyundai was actually a major partnership and an official sponsor for The Walking Dead between Season 2 and Season 4. From what I've done in terms of research, that seems to be the case. I don't know if the deal and the partnership officially ended after Season 4, but considering the car never makes an appearance after the battle in the prison towards the halfway point of Season 4, I'm assuming that the deal was over by that point. But the car mainly made an appearance between Season 2 and Season 4, and it was first introduced actually in Season 2 when Rick and Shane and all the other survivors are stuck on the highway trying to find a way out. Shane ends up finding the car and puts a new battery in it and gets it working again. Because of the major partnership and the official sponsor that Hyundai and the developers of The Walking Dead had, there were a couple of conditions that the car had to meet. First of all, it couldn't sustain any damage. It had to be squeaky clean, with the exception of a scene when the vehicle was covered in blood when Maggie and Glenn leave the farm after it is overrun by walkers. But the vehicle never has a dent, it never has any damage, probably because of the deal. Many characters in the seasons actually were able to drive it. Rick was one of them, Shane was one of them, Glenn was one of them. Quite a number of characters drove the Hyundai Tucson between the seasons when it was introduced and when it was over halfway through Season 4. The vehicle survived the farm battle between the main characters and the walkers. When Glenn and Maggie are in the vehicle, they take the vehicle out to the farm to try to kill as many walkers as they can and try to get them off the farm, which ultimately doesn't work and the plan fails, and Maggie and Glenn are forced to retreat away from the farm and meet up with the heroes back on the highway. The car is noticeably covered in blood, however, for obvious reasons, because not only has it ran down walkers, it's probably been up close to walkers when Glenn was shooting them with a shotgun, so blood has spattered all over the vehicle. What's interesting is that Hyundai actually made a limited vehicle for customers called the Walking Dead Edition, which included a black color and a hand red blood design on the vehicle, as well as a survival kit. I don't know how many sold, but probably all of them. The particular Tucson in The Walking Dead is called a Limited, which features a few other bits and bobs. So it includes a kiwi green color, which is very noticeable, a 2.4 liter engine producing around 170 brake horsepower, give or take, and the options were front wheel drive and all-wheel drive, but the one in the show is front wheel drive, as a scene when Rick, Carl, and Michonne are in the car and it gets stuck in the mud and its front wheels are spinning, so it's a front wheel car version in the show. The vehicle has been used for multiple runs and has survived countless of battles, going from the war again on the farm and even the first battle in the prison. It survived that, and it survived a lot more. The vehicle also included a 6-speed automatic gearbox, and depending on the model, because there were different types of models, you can get between 22 and 31 mpg, again depending on the model, from highway and city driving. It also came with 18-inch alloy wheels, a Bluetooth hand-free phone system, heated front seats, and much more. But to be honest, I can't be asked going through the whole list of what came with the Hyundai Tucson Limited, because it came with a lot of stuff, which is crazy to think about. Of course it is. The vehicle from the show is actually a second generation. It is a 2011 model, but the second generation was either introduced or began production in 2009, and it also had a facelift and some improvements as well. However, in the real life world, it also had quite a number of issues. It had excessive oil issues, HVAC issues, and I believe even a recall at one point. It is also known to have a stalling issue as well as a seizure issue, depending on the condition of the vehicle and how many miles have been done. The particular episode when it first made its introduction in the main show is again season 2, the episode What Lies Ahead. And again, like I said, Rick and Shane found the vehicle clogged with the other dead vehicles on the highway. Again, Shane replaced the battery and got it working again. But the vehicle made its sort of prequel debut to the main show in the webisodes alone. And as I said, Shane was going to leave the group with the vehicle as he put a new battery and he got it working, but Shane would actually return to the group when they found out what was going on. Shane wasn't going to leave when Carl was shot. He stayed behind. And the last appearance that it made was halfway through season 4 with the final battle between the heroes and the governor, when the governor appears at the prison, demands them to leave so that him and his men and women can move in, and the vehicle is ultimately left behind when the survivors have to run away from the prison to avoid the walkers and whatever else is appearing. So unfortunately, the vehicle will and has probably in the show most likely rusted and rotted away, because I doubt anybody would have gone to return to go pick up the vehicle. It's not likely. So one of the most important vehicles of the show was left to ironically die in the prison. So that's a bit of a sad situation, because I think the car would have been able to survive a hell of a lot longer, but the heroes, they had to go as quickly as they could. They couldn't find the keys or whatever, even though the keys would have probably been in the vehicle. They had to run away. So that was RIP to the Hyundai Tucson. What a shame. And another interesting thing as well, the car never killed anybody up until the episode 18 miles out. It had never killed anybody. It had never killed any walkers until the episode 18 miles out. When Rick and Shane take Randall out to the public workstations, Randall is in charge of driving the car to get the walkers away, and he runs over a walker's head, making it the first time that it had actually been used to kill someone, or in this case, a walker. A little bit of an interesting fact. And again, when season 2 ends, they go straight into season 3. We learn that the characters have survived through winter, and the Hyundai Tucson is still with the characters, so that means that it has survived winter and back, just like the other cars as well, the Chevrolet and another new car that got introduced as well in the first episode. Last real-ish appearance that the vehicle made was, again, season 4 in the episode Intimate, however you say it, where Rick arrived back at the prison when Maggie was killing walkers outside the fence, and it never made an appearance after that. So the speculation that it was abandoned and left behind is 100% true, because it never made an appearance after that, which is a bit of a shame. Although technically it did make an appearance in Michonne's hallucination in season 10, but still. The vehicle went through hell and back, you know, surviving the walkers, surviving gun battles, and surviving just the disastrous environment that was The Walking Dead in terms of the land and stuff like that. It had survived through winter, through spring, through summer, through autumn, you name it. It had survived everything, and it still kept going up until the point where it was left behind in the prison. And as I said, I truly believe that the vehicle would have kept going for quite a long time, and a considerable amount of time, without any major issues, but it was left behind, unfortunately, and never made an appearance again after the characters left the prison. And it's a shame, because it was a very reliable car in the show. You know, it never broke down once. The only exception of a quote-unquote broke down was when the car's battery was dead and a new battery was put in, and then when it got stuck in the mud. But that's pretty much all it went through in terms of any bad breakdowns. It, you know, it just had a dead battery at the start, and that got replaced, and then it got stuck in the mud, but then it got unstuck from the mud when Rick, Michonne, and Carl worked together to get the car out the mud because it was the front-wheel drive version. The car had seen many wars in that, and, you know, it made its prequel, you know, before the show, as we all know, but it's crazy that this car ultimately was left behind. I mean, again, they couldn't go get the car. The only car or vehicle that left the prison was the prison bus, where the survivors got out, and then all of them died pretty much. The Tucson never escaped, and it's a shame that no one went back to get it, but they couldn't risk it. All the characters were emotionally wounded and physically wounded. They couldn't risk going back to get the car when the prison was overrun by the walkers, and the governor pretty much destroyed the fences to allow the walkers to go into the prison in the first place. So they couldn't go back to get it, which is a major shame, because as I said, I think the vehicle would have lasted quite a long time with, you know, manageable maintenance of the vehicle. But it's a shame. It's a real shame. I suppose that's why a lot of people call it the unofficial hero car of The Walking Dead between season 2 and 4, because it got the heroes out of sticky situations. It was a very reliable car, and because it was a reliable car, it was used quite a lot for runs to get supplies, weapons, and just equipment that they needed for both the farm and the prison too. And for it to get left behind, which makes sense, as I just said, is a bit of a shame for a vehicle that made an appearance in a lot of episodes and got the heroes out of situations that were pretty much unavoidable. But the car is the hero of The Walking Dead if we're talking vehicles that are the quote-unquote hero of seasons. And now, and I know you could say Daryl Merle's motorbike could be a hero. Fucking Dale's RV is also a hero because it survived a lot of wars, from the post-apocalypse to the pre-apocalypse to it just being crazy RV, the Winnebago. But unfortunately, the RV ended up being burned down to the ground when it tried saving Rick and Carl, which it did, but then it ultimately burned to the ground when Jimmy died, which is a shame. About the RV being destroyed, by the way, and Jimmy's death. But yeah, it's a shame that the car was left behind, and I do believe the car would have kept going for quite a considerable amount of time, but the car had been through wars, it had survived a sex scene, it got the heroes out of the farm, well, Maggie and Glenn out of the farm, because there was no one else in that car until they reunited on the highway. And again, all because of a partnership and a deal between Hyundai and the developers of the show, and it was a really good deal. It helped promote the vehicle as much as they could, and it became an iconic classic in the Walking Dead early seasons, and I gotta give the car credit for that, even though I don't know much about Hyundai, and the Tucson itself was a hero in The Walking Dead season 2, 3, and 4 for the heroes. But yeah, that is gonna be it for this video. I want to do more videos like this, just talking about certain things in TV shows. I mean, it could be a good series in the future. Anyway, I'm gonna leave the video there. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me all know what you thought of the Hyundai Tucson. Was it the hero of The Walking Dead in terms of vehicles? Let me all know what you thought in the comments below, and if you did enjoy the video, please be sure to hit the like button, possibly share it with a friend, family, or relative. Check the description below for my Instagram, my Twitter, and all the social medias that I am allowing access to. And yeah, I will see you all in the next video that we do, whatever that's going to be.